Eli woke up before the sun. He did not rush. He moved quietly so his mom could rest a little longer. In the corner of their small kitchen sat a red wagon. Its paint was faded. One wheel squeaked if you pushed it too fast. Eli touched the handle like it was important. Because it was. He looked at the fridge. It was clean and almost empty. His mom had been working extra hours again. She always said they were fine. Eli believed her. But he also noticed the little things. He picked up a pair of gloves that were too big for his hands. He pulled them on anyway. Then he stepped outside. The air was cool. The street was quiet. Eli started walking. The wagon followed behind him, tapping softly over the sidewalk cracks. He knew the route by heart. The park benches, the corner store, the apartment buildings with recycling bins out back. He never made a mess. He never took anything that was not meant for recycling. He only collected cans people had already thrown away. Some mornings, a neighbor waved. Some mornings, people looked past him. Eli did not get upset. He kept going. At the edge of town was a small recycling place. The man there knew Eli. Mr. Daniels spoke gently and counted carefully. Eli liked that. Mr. Daniels. Morning, Eli. You are early. Eli. I wanted to finish before it gets hot. Mr. Daniels. You always work steady. How is your mom? Eli paused. He did not want to make it a big story. He never did. Eli. She is tired. She works a lot. Mr. Daniels nodded like he understood without needing more details. He weighed the cans and handed Eli a few bills. Eli folded the money and put it deep in his pocket. Mr. Daniels. Tell her I said hello. Eli. I will. Thank you. On the way back, Eli took a shortcut near a diner with big windows and warm lights. It was still early, but people were inside. Eli slowed down. Not because he wanted to go in, because he heard engines. A group of motorcycles rolled into the parking lot. They moved in a calm line like they practiced being careful. The bikes were clean and shiny. The riders wore jackets and vests with patches. Eli stopped. He held the wagon handle tight. He did not know what they wanted. He told himself to keep walking. One biker looked over. Not with anger. Not with a hard stare. Just a steady look, like he was paying attention. The biker parked and got off slowly. He was tall and broad with gray in his beard. He kept his hands open at his sides. He walked a few steps, then stopped at a respectful distance. Ray. Hey there, kid. That wagon looks heavy. Eli did not answer right away. He watched the man's face. He listened to his voice. Ray spoke softly. Ray. You are doing a lot this early. Are you okay? Eli. I am fine. Ray nodded once like he accepted the answer. Ray. What are you collecting? Eli glanced at the clear bags in his wagon. Cans. A whole week of small effort. Eli. Cans. Ray. For recycling? Eli. Yes. Ray looked at the wagon again. Then he looked at Eli like he saw more than the bags. Ray. If you do not mind me asking why? Eli swallowed. He could have lied. He could have shrugged. But something in Ray's calm voice made honesty feel safe. Eli. So my mom can buy groceries. Ray did not react fast. He did not make a big face. He did not speak too loudly. He simply breathed in, then out. Ray. You are 10, right? Eli. Yes. Ray's eyes softened. Behind him, a few other bikers watched quietly. No one stepped closer. No one pointed. They just waited. Ray. That is a lot of responsibility for someone your age. Eli lifted his chin. Eli. My mom works hard. I just help. Ray nodded again. Then he did something Eli did not expect. Ray lowered himself to one knee so he was not towering over him. Ray. My name is Ray. I lead this group. We try to look out for our neighborhood. Eli. I did not do anything wrong. Ray. I know. I can tell. Ray paused, choosing his words carefully. Ray. Would you let me buy you breakfast? Eli blinked. Eli. No. I have to go home. Ray. Okay. That is fair. Ray reached into a side bag on his bike and pulled out a small paper bag. He held it out, but did not push it into Eli's hands. Ray. Then take this for the walk. Just something simple. Eli stared at the bag. He did not move. Ray, you do not owe me anything. This is just kindness. Eli's fingers tightened on the wagon handle. He looked at the diner. He looked at Ray. He looked at the line of motorcycles. And then he heard a soft voice behind Ray, one of the other riders speaking low. Ryder, is that the kid you told us about? Eli's heart thumped. He did not understand. Eli, told you about? Who told you about me? Ray lifted his hand gently to the other rider. Ray, it is okay. Give us a moment. The rider nodded and stepped back. Ray looked at Eli again. His voice stayed calm. Ray, your teacher mentioned you. She said you are a good kid. Quiet. Responsible. Eli frowned. Eli, I did not tell anyone to talk about me. Ray, I know. You did not ask for attention. Eli shifted his weight. The wagon creaked softly. Eli, I just do what I have to do. Ray studied him for a moment. Then he smiled, not wide, not loud. Just honest. Ray, that is exactly why people notice. Ray stood slowly and took one step back to give Eli space. Ray, I am not here to stop you. I am not here to scare you. Eli, then why are you here? Ray looked down the street, then back at Eli. Ray, because sometimes help shows up quietly, and sometimes it looks different than people expect. Eli did not reply. He held the wagon handle tighter. Ray, can I walk with you for a minute? Eli hesitated. Then he nodded once. They walked side by side. The motorcycles stayed behind. No engines. No noise. Ray, how long have you been doing this? Eli, almost 2 years. Ray, every weekend? Eli, most of them. Ray, that takes discipline. Eli shrugged. Eli, I like knowing I helped. Ray stopped walking. Eli stopped too. Ray, does your mom know you work this hard? Eli looked down. Eli, she knows. She tells me I do not have to, but I want to. Ray nodded slowly. Ray, that says a lot about you. Ray reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a folded piece of paper. He did not hand it to Eli yet. Ray, this is a grocery card. No names. No conditions. Eli shook his head. Eli, cannot take that. Ray, why not? Eli, because I did not earn it. Ray smiled again, softer this time. Ray, you already did. Eli looked confused. Eli, how? Ray, by caring. By showing up. By doing your best without being asked. Eli was quiet. The street felt still around them. Ray, listen to me carefully. Eli looked up. Ray, you are not taking anything away from your mom by accepting help. You are giving her rest. Eli swallowed. Eli, she does not like asking. Ray, neither did mine. Ray folded the paper smaller and placed it gently on the wagon. Ray, you do not have to decide now. Eli stared at it. Then at Ray. Eli, why are you doing this? Ray took a breath. Ray, because a long time ago, someone helped my family when we were from a humble background. They did not ask questions. They did not expect anything back. Ray, they just showed up. Ray straightened. Ray, now it is my turn. From across the street, one of the bikers cleared his throat softly. Ryder. Ray, everything ready? Ray nodded. Ray, yes. He turned back to Eli. Ray, we brought groceries to your place. Only if your mom agrees. She already said yes. Eli's eyes widened. Eli, you talked to my mom? Ray, she was cautious. She asked good questions. She loves you very much. Eli felt his chest tighten. Eli, is she okay? Ray, she is smiling right now. Eli looked at the paper on the wagon again. Then he nodded. Eli, okay. Ray stepped back and gave him a respectful nod. Ray, you did the right thing. They walked together toward Eli's building. The bikes followed slowly behind, quiet and controlled. When they reached the door, Eli stopped. Eli, I still want to collect cans sometimes. Ray smiled. Ray, then do it because you want to, not because you have to. Eli nodded. Inside the apartment, bags were stacked neatly on the counter. Fresh food. Simple food. Enough to breathe easier. Eli's mom stood there, her hand over her mouth. Mom. Eli. She hugged him gently. Mom, You do not have to carry everything alone. Eli leaned into her. Eli, I know. Ray stayed near the door. He did not step forward. Ray, we will check in. That is all. Eli looked back at him. Eli, thank you. Ray nodded. Ray, you are welcome. And remember this. Ray paused. Ray, kindness is strength. Eli watched as the bikers left quietly. The street returned to normal, but something had changed. For the first time in a long while, Eli felt lighter, not because the wagon was empty, but because he was no longer carrying everything by himself. The next morning felt different. Sunlight came through the window and stayed longer. Eli sat at the table with a warm bowl of cereal. It was simple, but it felt special. His mom moved slowly through the kitchen. Not rushed, not worried. Mom, I forgot what a full fridge feels like. Eli smiled. Eli, we have choices now. She laughed softly and touched his hair. Mom, you should be getting ready for school. Eli nodded. He grabbed his backpack and paused at the corner of the room. The red wagon stood there, quiet. Eli, I will leave it here today. Mom, that sounds right. At school, Eli felt lighter. He raised his hand in class. He read out loud without fear. His teacher noticed. Teacher, nice work, Eli. Eli sat up straighter. During lunch, a boy from his class sat nearby. Boy, your wagon is gone. Eli, yeah. I do not need it right now. Boy, that is good. Eli nodded. It was. After school, Ray waited near the sidewalk. No motorcycles this time. Just Ray and a calm smile. Ray, how was your day? Eli, good. I answered questions. Ray, that is progress. They walked together for a bit. Ray, your mom called me. She wanted me to say thank you. Eli, she means it. Ray, I know. They reached the park. Children played. Parents talked. Ray, I want to ask you something. Eli, okay. Ray, what do you want to be when you grow up? Eli thought. Eli, someone who helps. Ray smiled. Ray, that is a good goal. Ray handed Eli a small notebook. Ray, write things in here. Ideas, thoughts, dreams. Eli, why? Ray, because your story matters. Eli held the notebook like it was important. Eli, I will. Weeks passed. Groceries arrived quietly. No crowds. No attention. Ray checked in but did not hover. He listened more than he spoke. Eli grew taller. His laugh came easier. One afternoon, Eli asked a question. Eli, Ray, why do people help if they do not have to? Ray stopped walking. Ray, because someone once helped them, and they remember how it felt. Eli nodded. Eli, I want to remember too. Ray, you already do. At school, Eli started helping others, holding doors, sharing notes, sitting with kids who felt overlooked. His teacher noticed again. Teacher, you have a good heart, Eli. Eli smiled. At home, dinner became a moment they shared. They talked. They planned. Mom, what should we make tomorrow? Eli, something new. Mom, I like that. One evening, Eli took the red wagon out. Not to collect cans, just to clean it. Ray watched from a distance. Ray, keeping it? Eli, yes. Not because I need it, because it reminds me. Ray nodded. Ray, that is wisdom. Months later, Eli stood at the community center. A small event. Nothing big. He helped hand out food to families facing challenges. He moved with care. Ray watched quietly. Ray, you are ready. Eli, for what? Ray, for your next chapter. Eli looked around. Families, smiles, relief. Eli, I think I already started it. Ray smiled. The red wagon rested nearby. Empty, clean, but its purpose had changed. It was no longer about survival. It was about growth. Eli learned that help does not make you weak. It makes you stronger. And kindness, once received, becomes something you give. That lesson stayed with him, and it always would. A year passed quietly. Eli grew taller. His voice changed a little. His steps felt more confident. The red wagon stayed by the wall. Clean. Still. Eli did not forget where he came from. But he no longer lived inside worry. One afternoon, Ray invited Eli to the garage. It was open and bright. Tools were organized. Nothing rushed. Ray, I want to show you something. Eli watched as Ray fixed a loose bolt on a bike. Slow hands. Careful movements. Ray, people think strength is about noise. It is not. Eli, what is it then? Ray tightened the bolt and wiped his hands. Ray, it is about showing up. Again and again. Eli nodded. Ray, you did that for your mom. Without being asked. Eli looked down. Eli, I just wanted her to rest. Ray, and now she does. They sat on 2 stools. Ray, what do you think you learned this year? Eli thought. Eli, that help does not mean failure. It means trust. Ray smiled. Ray, that is something many adults never learn. At school, Eli joined a small program. Students helped organize food drives. Nothing dramatic, just planning and care. Eli spoke at the meeting. Eli, we should make it easy for families to feel welcome. The room went quiet. Teacher, that is a good point. Eli felt proud. Not loud pride, steady pride. At home, his mom noticed the change. Mom, you walk differently now. Eli, how? Mom, like you know where you are going. They laughed. One evening, Ray knocked on the door. Ray, I have an invitation. Eli, for what? Ray, community ride. No pressure. Just to see. Eli looked at his mom. Mom, you should go. Eli rode behind Ray. Helmet secure. Hands steady. People waved as they passed. Not because of noise. Because of respect. At the park, families gathered. Food tables. Music low. Children playing. Ray introduced Eli to a few people. Ray, this is Eli. He reminds us why we do this. Eli felt shy, but he stood tall. A younger child tugged his sleeve. Child, what is that wagon for? Eli smiled. Eli, it helped me once. Now it reminds me to help others. The child nodded like that made sense. Later, Eli sat alone for a moment. He opened the notebook Ray gave him. He wrote one line. Help given becomes hope shared. Ray sat beside him. Ray, you wrote something good? Eli, yes. Ray, keep writing. Your voice matters. As the sun lowered, Eli looked around. Families, laughter, peace. He realized something important. His story did not start with struggle. Started with love. Love from his mom. Love from strangers who chose kindness. Eli closed the notebook. Eli, Ray, yes. Eli, one day I want to be the one who notices. Ray placed a hand on his shoulder. Ray, you already are. They stood together as the lights came on. Nothing flashy, nothing loud, just people, connected, and a boy from a humble background who learned that dignity grows when kindness is shared. That lesson stayed with him, and it was only the beginning. Years moved forward with quiet strength. Eli grew into his teenage years with steady focus. School became a place of purpose. He asked questions. He helped others understand. The red wagon still sat by the wall. Not forgotten. Not needed. Honored. One afternoon, Eli came home holding a paper. Mom, what is that? Eli, an acceptance letter. She read it slowly. Then she smiled the way she did when she felt proud and calm at the same time. Mom, you earned this. Eli, we earned it. That evening, Ray stopped by. No jacket. No bike. Just Ray. Ray, I heard the news. Eli, I am going to study community planning. Ray, that fits you. They sat on the steps as the sun faded. Ray, do you remember the first day we met? Eli nodded. Eli, I was holding the wagon too tight. Ray smiled. Ray, and you were carrying more than anyone should. Eli looked at the street. Eli, you showed me that accepting help does not mean losing dignity. Ray, it means trusting people. Eli stood and brought the red wagon outside. He placed it near the sidewalk. Ray, what are you doing? Eli, giving it a new job. The next morning, the wagon rolled again. Not for cans, for sharing. Eli and a few friends used it to carry food boxes at the community center. They worked quietly, respectfully. A younger boy watched from the corner. Boy, Is that hard work? Eli knelt to his level. Eli, it is good work. Boy, why do you do it? Eli thought for a moment. Eli, because someone once helped me. Now I help others. The boy smiled. As the day ended, Ray stood back and watched. He did not guide. He did not step in. He simply observed. Ray, you do not need me anymore. Eli heard him and shook his head. Eli, I will always need your example. Ray placed a hand on his shoulder. Ray, then my job is done right. That night Eli wrote in his notebook. Kindness grows when it is passed forward. He closed it and looked at his mom. Eli, thank you for trusting me. Mom, thank you for being you. The story of the wagon spread quietly. Not online, not loudly, just through people who felt seen. Eli understood something important. Life does not change in big moments alone. It changes through steady choices, through dignity, through care. He looked at the wagon one last time before rolling it back inside. It had served its purpose. Again. And in that simple motion, Eli knew the truth. A child who once helped out of need had grown into someone who helped out of love. That was the real transformation. And it would continue. Time moved gently forward. Eli finished school with steady confidence. Not rushed. Not afraid. He walked the same streets he once pushed the wagon through. They looked different now. Not because they changed. Because he had. One afternoon, Eli stood outside the community center. A small sign hung near the door. Welcome. Everyone belongs. He smiled. Inside, families talked quietly. Volunteers moved with purpose. No one felt rushed. No one felt overlooked. Eli checked a list on the wall. He nodded to himself. Ray entered a moment later. Slower steps now. Same calm eyes. Ray, you built something good here. Eli, I did not build it alone. Ray, that is how I know it will last. They sat near the window. Sunlight filled the room. Ray, do you remember what you said the first day? Eli thought. Eli, I said I was fine. Ray smiled. Ray, and you were. You just did not have to be alone. Eli looked around the room. Eli, that is what I want people to feel here. Ray, they do. A young girl walked past holding a small box. She stopped and looked at Eli. Girl, where should this go? Eli, right here. Thank you for helping. She smiled and walked away. Ray watched quietly. Ray, you speak with respect. People listen. Eli, I learned from watching. Ray nodded. Outside, the red wagon rested near the door. Its paint faded. It was still uneven. Ray, you kept it. Eli, yes. Ray, why? Eli placed his hand on the handle. Eli, because it reminds me that small things matter, and that help can arrive in simple ways. Ray stood and placed his hand over Eli's. Ray, then promise me something. Eli, what is that? Ray, when someone feels misunderstood, you listen first. Eli, promise. Ray, when someone feels overlooked, you notice. Eli, I will. Ray, and when someone offers you help, you accept it with dignity. Eli, I already do. They shared a quiet laugh. As evening came, families began to leave. Goodbyes were gentle, grateful. Eli locked the door and stood for a moment. He looked at the wagon, then at the building. He understood something clearly. Life had not changed because someone rescued him. It changed because someone respected him. That respect became confidence. Confidence became growth. Growth became purpose. Eli rolled the wagon inside one last time. He parked it carefully against the wall. Mom stepped in from the hallway. Mom, ready to go home? Eli, yes. She looked at the room. Mom, you made this happen. Eli shook his head. Eli, we did. They walked out together. The lights dimmed behind them. Not an ending, a continuation. Because kindness does not end with one moment. It moves forward, passed from one person to the next, quietly, steadily. And Eli knew the story was not about a wagon, or a biker, or a difficult moment. It was about dignity, and the choice to see one another. That choice would guide him, always.